Well, we get a chance to play a Colorado State team, get a chance to play a home game. It seemed like we've been gone for a while, and of course the road last Saturday was not very good to the Razorbacks. And one of the things I found out about our team is we got to get more defensive, and that what means we got to get more defense involved in our game. I think we're trying to outscore people, and in the last few games, you can see that. And I always say we're going to hang our hats on our defense, and so we've got to get defensive minded. And so there may be some shakeups in the lineup. I don't know. We'll see after practice here. But a Colorado State team that just beat Colorado, which is a rivalry in that state, beat against a good Colorado team. So it's a team that played Florida State early in the year and played with them for about 35 minutes. I mean, they were right there with them. So every ball game for our basketball team is going to be a game. We've got to come out and we got to play and hopefully establish some type of tempo, and that tempo has got to be set with our defense.
All right, we'll open up for questions. If you want to raise your hand, we'll get a mic.
Yeah, Mike, kind of what's been the players' reaction to that? You talked about it being a humbling game the other night. Kind of how do you expect your guys to respond Tuesday night?
Well, hopefully, you always talk about not getting a hangover from a game. Well, I thought we got a hangover from the Connecticut game. We start believing the hype and the pat on the back coming back from it, and we're not understanding that when you play against in a true road game against a Houston team that physically they're going to get after you, they're going to challenge you, defensively they're going to get after you, and you got to be able to respond. And we didn't get off to a good start, and that's not a good sign on the road. So it was humbling from the standpoint of that you got to come out and you got to play. You got to play with the energy. You got to play with that sense of urgency right from the start, no matter where you play, whether it be at home, on the road, neutral site. And with this schedule, every game the schedule was strategically placed at every game. That you got to come out and play some of your best basketball and get better. So the humblingness to me is that now we can't let that game have a hangover effect in the game going against Colorado State. But the truth to be they're not as good as they think they are. It's early in the year, and teams have scouting reports, and they're going to come at you. And so you got to be able to come back right back at them.
Is C.J. Jones, because his offense has really been high the last several games, is his defense catching up at all where maybe you'd use him more?
I think C.J. is really getting more comfortable out on the floor. I think defensively he's doing some good things. He can rebound. That's what I like about him. He's probably getting 3 or 4 rebounds a game out there. So he's not getting as lost as he was last year, and that's just experience getting out there and playing. A lot more comfortable. He's coming off screens. He's playing the game the right way. So, again, his minutes will continue to go up.
Mike, I guess Lorenzo Jenkins, who was here for a year, is out there now, and looks like he's doing okay. He had 14 against FSU. I think he had 8 points and 6 rebounds the other night when they beat Colorado. What do you remember about him? What are you expecting from him?
Well, I'm sure it's going to be a charged-up guy who's ready to play. He's a guy that can shoot the basketball. One of the things we knew, he can shoot the basketball. Left-handed. He's a good rebounder as well. And so he's doing a good job for Larry Eustachy out there. And I'm sure he probably got this one kind of circled on the calendar in terms of playing, having a chance to come back and play at a place where he practiced at it each and every day.
Dustin played 28 minutes the other night, started the second half. What did you see that you liked from him to do those things?
I thought he's fighting. I thought he's playing. I thought he's playing the right way, playing hard. He was active. I think he ended up with 6 or 7. He's our leading rebounder in the game. Their defense was packed in there, especially off the forwards, that he was able to step out and knock some shots down. And I thought he turned some shots down that he's got to be able to take. One of the things with our team, being a guard-oriented team, that people are going to pack their defense in, and they're going to guard the guards out on the perimeter. And so your forwards, as we open up the floor, those guys got to be able to step out and knock shots, and we got to get some curls and cuts to the hole. I didn't think we did that in the Houston game. We got real stagnant offensively. But to me, on the other end of it, we didn't play defense. I didn't think we played defense the way we're capable of playing.
Mike, it looks like they were averaging about 70 points. They obviously probably don't want to play as fast as you guys do. Well, how would you describe their offense? What do you kind of have to do to get them out of their comfort?
Well, they're gonna run a motion offense. They open up the floor and try to get the Bob kid. I think the leading kid is the Nixon kid. They try to get him you can shoot the basketball, but they like to run a lot of motion, and they'll push it with opportunities, but they want to get you in half court and just kind of break your defense down. Swing the basketball and find that weakness that you have inside out.
You mentioned maybe making some lineup changes. From a coaching standpoint, is it hard to start Daniel or put him in maybe a bigger role until he figures out how to stay out of foul trouble more consistently?
Well, we'll see. Sometimes it might as well get them on out there too. There's that case where you can bring them off, but you also can start them out too. So we'll see how that goes. He's just got to learn how to play without fouling. Just play athletic. Stop thinking.
How ready is Orlando Cook to be worked into?
I think he's ready now that we've reinstated him. Didn't play in the Houston game, but he's ready, and he's a guy that we need on our team. There are some guys that fix things on defense. I recall last year we had a guard-oriented lineup, and then I end up after the Minnesota game. I think we put Emmanuel Watkins out there and Dustin Thomas, and then that group to me. They formulated a chemistry, and the guys that came off the bench really started adding more to our bench. So sometimes as a coach, you're trying to juggle that lineup to find out, that mixture, that lineup that's going to. The most important thing, I'm going to have about 9 to 10 starters with this team. The biggest key is getting playing time and what you do with that time, and that's got to be the mindset of guys when they go out. They can't assume that I'm going to be starting, and because we have the capability of having multiple guys out there on the floor that are capable of going out and I think and doing a good job.
Mike, Daniel took a pretty hard fall. I know he went back in the game. Is his shoulder okay? Or
Yes,
whatever?
yes, he's okay.
And then I remember you guys. I think it was '98 or something. You guys were out in Hilo and you faced Iowa State when Larry Eustachian was there. Have you ever faced him as a head coach or?
Yeah, my team played him at UAB. We played him over there when he was at Southern Miss.
You guys were in the Conference USA.
Yeah, at Southern Miss.
How'd you guys do?
Our team beat him. But his teams, like I say, it was a tough ball game. His team's a scrappy team. They rebound. They're very physical. They pack the paint defensively. They guard you, and they rebound the basketball. So again, they prefer the game to be in the 70s. Obviously, we want the 80s, 90s. We want it to be as high as it can be. But his team's they rebound the basketball well. I think they've doubled the output almost of offensive rebounders of the teams they play. I think they've got 103 rebounds versus 68 for the opponents. That tells you what they emphasize. Offensive rebounding, limiting teams to one shot, field goal percentage that are down, and then motion offense.
And he's a pretty accomplished guy. He's won everywhere he's been. Just what do you think about him as a coach?
He's a very good coach. I think he's a very, very good coach, outstanding coach.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you. All right.